You hear it all the time, right? On one hand, people are claiming AI is making them an absolute fortune. And on the other, you hear it's giving out some of the worst advice imaginable. So that got us thinking, and we decided to run a little experiment.
Here's the big question. Could an artificial intelligence actually take an everyday person investing a normal amount of money and turn them into a millionaire? To find out, we set up a challenge. We put 3 of the smartest AIs on the planet head-to-head against each other and against a real live human expert.
Now, to do this right, we needed to lay down some ground rules, to make it a fair fight. So we gave every single contender the exact same prompt, the same mission. So here's the setup we gave everyone, both the AIs and our human advisor. The challenge was to build a portfolio that could turn $1,000 a month into $1 million. The time frame? 20 years. And the catch? They had to stick to a moderate risk level. Simple, clear, but definitely a serious challenge.
Okay, so with the rules in place, it was time to unleash the AIs. Let's meet our 3 digital financial gurus.
First up to the plate, we've got Google's Notebook LM. We fed it the prompt, and honestly, what it came back with was, well, it looks surprisingly traditional.
Let's break down what Notebook LM came up with. You can see right away a massive 60% chunk goes into the total US stock market. Then it balances that out with international stocks and a good slice of bonds. It's a very diversified, almost textbook approach to long-term investing.
Yeah, the thinking here is pure, classic, institutional investing. Notebook LM is playing the long game. It's aiming for that slow, steady compounding with as little drama as possible. No fireworks, just a patient march toward that $1 million goal.
All right, let's bring in our next AI and see what it cooked up. ChatGPT got the exact same prompt, but came to a very different conclusion. This portfolio has a lot more spice.
You can see the difference immediately, can't you? Sure, the S&P 500 is the anchor, but look at this, a big 20% slice dedicated just to tech stocks through a NASDAQ fund, plus another 10% in small-cap value companies. We're talking smaller businesses that the market might be sleeping on. This is a much more focused bet on growth.
So what's the strategy? Basically, ChatGPT is willing to take on more volatility for a shot at much higher returns. I mean, historically, both tech and small cap value have done incredibly well over long periods, but man, they also come with some much bigger swings along the way.
And for our final AI contender, we have Google Gemini. Gemini looked at the prompt and decided to crank the risk dial all the way to 11.
Just look at this allocation. A massive 25% is dedicated to tech and AI innovation. Then it adds a pretty significant 15% in emerging markets. And then, and this is a first, we see a 5% allocation to a Bitcoin ETF. This is definitely not for the faint of heart.
Let's be real. This is a bet on the future, plain and simple. Gemini is banking on a massive upside from AI, from global emerging economies, and from crypto. The potential reward here is the highest we've seen by a long shot, but the risk absolutely matches it. In a downturn, a portfolio like this could get hit very, very hard.
So, there you have it. 3 very different AI strategies. But the real question is, how do they stack up against the tried and true wisdom of a human professional?
So we gave that exact same challenge to a human financial advisor to create a portfolio that could serve as our benchmark, our control group. And here it is. The human strategy is, well, it's beautifully simple. A whopping 90% is in stocks, split between a global fund and a dedicated international fund, with just a 10% cushion in bonds. It's incredibly broad. It doesn't even try to pick specific sectors or chase the latest trends.
And that's the entire philosophy right there. No speculative crypto bets, no heavy tilt towards tech. This whole approach is about capturing the fundamental growth of the entire global economy. It's boring in the best possible way because it's built on decades of proven solid principles.
All right, the moment of truth. We have our 4 portfolios: the safe bet from Notebook LM, the growth play from ChatGPT, the moonshot from Gemini, and the human benchmark. Let's put them side by side and see how the projected numbers actually stack up. Okay, this table lays it all out. It's a perfect picture of that classic trade-off between risk and reward. Notebook LM's super safe approach gets you right there, just shy of the $1 million line. The human advisor's balance plan comfortably clears it at over $1 million. But then, look at the other AIs. ChatGPT's aggressive tech bet projects to hit $1.17 million. In Gemini's Wild Moonshot portfolio, it projects a staggering $1.35 million.
So after all that, who actually built the best portfolio? Well, the truth is, it completely depends on what kind of investor you are.
See, there isn't just one single winner here. There's a winner for every different category. If you want the absolute safest path with the least amount of stress, Notebook LM is your champion. If you're chasing the highest possible growth and you can stomach the wild ride, Gemini wins hands down. For that classic, balanced, sleep well at night approach, the human advisor takes the prize. And for maybe the best overall balance of risk and reward, ChatGPT's portfolio really comes out on top.
But here's the thing. After digging through all this data, a much more important lesson started to emerge, and it has nothing to do with which specific ETF you pick.
And this, right here, is the most important lesson of all. Any of these 4 portfolios could make you a millionaire, but you know what? None of them will work if you don't actually invest the money, month after month, for 20 years. The simple, boring, unsexy act of being consistent is so much more powerful than finding that one perfect investment mix.
Which brings us right to the final question, and it's for you. Looking at these 4 paths, the slow and steady, the balanced, the aggressive, or the absolute moonshot, which one would you have the discipline, the stomach to stick with for 2 whole decades? The answer to that question? Well, it tells you everything you need to know.